In a blistering letter to senators, Caroline Kennedy, the daughter of the late President John F. Kennedy, calls her cousin, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., a predator.
I mean, that's so heavy, isn't it? Like the family history of the Kennedys. JFK assassinated, RFK assassinated, loads of other Kennedys dying. Bobby Kennedy looks like he's going to pull America back from the brink of perpetual health crises. Then his cousin goes, that guy's a predator. I mean, your cousin. Mind your own business.
Kennedy says she is able to speak out now because she's no longer the U.S. ambassador to Australia.
Finally able to speak out now that he's about to get in a position of power and my interests are aligned with the centralized and globalized forces that oppose an anti-corporate figure like my cousin Bobby, the Predator. One Christmas, he preyed so hard on not only me, but our pets. And preying on something, by the way, that just means focusing on it and hunting it. And like eagles are predators, and I like eagles.
She's urging senators to reject her cousin for the position of Secretary of Health and Human Services, saying he's a hypocrite who vaccinated his own children.
Saw him vaccinating 1 million kids one day. He was vaccinating them. He was offering ice creams with one hand and vaccines with the other. People just got out of their way to be mean about him.
Vaccinated his own children while crusading publicly against vaccines. Kennedy says he led his siblings and cousins into a path of drug use and addiction.
He's a drug addict. That in this itself is an illness. And by the way, one of the things I've never really said about Bobby Kennedy is as a person in recovery, he will have unique insights to the issues of addiction, mental illness, grief, despair, as well as his obvious and evident expertise in matters like nutrition, health and fitness, wellness, avant-garde and outside treatments like chiropractic, to name but one example. I know a lot of people are cynical about chiropractic, but I believe in it, and it's been really helpful for me if you have the right chiropractor, same as if you have the right doctor. He's a person who respects science, respects law, and of course he's made mistakes like an addict. An addict is a fallen and broken person that has changed and surrendered and demonstrates that change by, essentially fasting from drugs and drink. And in my case, literally bloody everything. I ate a chocolate bar yesterday. That was a brief moment of respite. My point is this. RFK is in so many ways so much better qualified than any of the people that have the gall to interlocute and inquire, although I recognise a confirmation hearing requires that they do that, but it's so plain that what they're doing is voicing the opinions and hostilities of an establishment that doesn't want an oppositional, outspoken, transparent and authentic man like Bobby Kennedy in the hen house making significant choices. That predator, see? Hen house! Predator!
His basement, his garage, his dorm room were always the center of the action, where drugs were available, and he enjoyed showing off how he put baby chickens and mice in a blender to feed to his hawks. It was often a perverse scene of despair and violence.
Then the hawks themselves, some of them had revolting feathers sticking out their skin and beaks. Beaks on their faces would eat those baby mice. She's describing nature. He would often, in his digestive system, bake hard stools and feces before dilating his anus and allowing them to drop out. He would pee urine into a like, if you describe stuff in detail, it's revolting. Including a predator. What does she mean? When's she going to back that up? Yeah, Miss Molly in the chat, were those mice dead? He would put mice on a paste and go like, what about foie gras? Foie gras. That's burst goose liver spread on a cracker and eaten. Like, if you describe that, it's disgusting. I mean, what about any sex act in a loving marriage? That's disgusting. That's the problem. Is you can make anything disgusting if your intention is to make it disgusting, and the intention is to destroy Bobby Kennedy, and that heartens me and makes me feel like, oh man, this guy's going to do something. It's how I came round to Trump anyway. It's like, hold on a minute, there's so many of these absolute arseholes hate him. He must be all right. That's actually, they persuaded me They persuaded me. Back to Bobby Kennedy's cousin, who calls him a predator.
Caroline Kennedy says her cousin continues to grandstand off the assassinations of her father and his father.
He grandstands on those assassinations. Like, can you believe that in the victim culture we live in now, where people would like, I heard someone mention a fart and I'm still getting over it. Whether it's the woke side of it or the kind of legislating where there's a blame, there's a claim, I hurt my toe, give me $100,000. To sort of say that someone's grandstanding over the assassination. Like, imagine this. Your uncle, the president of the United States, gets killed by the government. Like, wait, how long do you think it would be before he thought, yeah, I don't want to talk about that anymore? No wonder he's putting baby birds and mice on a paste and feeding it to a hawk. That's so distressing. And then his own father, presumably similarly murdered with some form of state malfeasance or intervention. He's been grandstanding about that for ages. Unlike me, who never tries to use my family ties to, wait a minute, I'm right this minute reading a statement on the news exploiting my family ties and claiming that it's bad that I saw a mouse go in a blender. If it's bad that a mouse went in a blender, how much badder is it that the president of the United States was murdered by the government? He's grandstanding on it. She's grandstanding about a mouse in a blender.
She says she's certain both men would be disgusted by his actions.
This just in, I've traveled through time into the mind of JFK and RFK Sr., and they said, vote Biden. What? It's too late to vote Biden. They said, please do not confirm him in the Senate hearings. How extraordinary. So whether it's watching the Senate hearings themselves and hearing the ridiculous questions plainly geared towards antagonizing or otherwise sabotaging RFK's confirmation, or the way that the media circles their wagons and brings to the forefront negative ideas, it's clear that the confirmation process, and Bobby Kennedy's confirmation in particular, is a revelation around the cogs and mechanics of American politics. Your forefathers did a great thing. They did create the potential for a true republic where the people's will could be served through electoral processes. But ever since then, as they themselves predicted, corporate interests have intervened, inveigled, got involved and stuck in, attempted to usurp the process. So when we watch the confirmation together and we see Cheryl Hines sat back there, we're getting an insight into a part of the machine. And when we see media reporting like we just saw then, what we start to understand is this is not an objective process. It's a kind of theatre. I mean, at the moment, I still don't know whether Bobby's going to get confirmed. I would say this, the confirmation of Bobby Kennedy is a seal, at least on some optimism, that there could be real change. If he doesn't get confirmed, it's an indication that the powers of corruption are still very much in control of the direction of your country, America. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments and the chat. Whoa! How did that get there? Is that freedom straight out of my bowels and into your mouth? Don't dwell on that image. This is a delicious dark roast from 1775. It smells like freedom. Did you know that drinking 2 to 3 cups of coffee daily can reduce your risk of death by 29%? No! And halve your chances of heart complications? No! But what's the point if your coffee tastes like it was brewed by someone who thinks soy lattes are the pinnacle of human achievement? 1775 Coffee is here to reclaim coffee from the wokerati, if such a thing is a word or a term even. Hand-picked Bolivian beans. Don't be disgusting. That is not a euphemism for, flicking your old. Roasted in the USA, delivering pure single-origin brilliance without a hint of deceit. Sweet, truthful coffee. It's coffee for those seeking truth, depth, and the clarity to see through life's illusions, which is me and you. Come on, get on board. The best part? Every dollar you spend enters you to win a blacked out 2024 Tesla Cybertruck plus $30,000 of cash. Now, apparently I'm going to be driving around in this Cybertruck. I'll believe it when I actually see it, because I'm always getting told things like you're going to be driving around in a Cybertruck, and they never ever appear. If this Cybertruck appears, That is going to be, you will see me drive it. I'm going to drive it in the water. I'm going to see if it works as Musk claims, as an amphibious vehicle that can also be launched into space. Let's test those claims. Head to 7075. Yes, a Cybertruck, a modern day Ark, ready to navigate the floods of uncertainty. Is this a metaphor? Was the Ark a metaphor? With the strength to carry you through any of life's trials. Head to 1775coffee.com, stock up and fuel your mornings with rebellion. Use this code for 15% off. Don't miss your chance to drive off in a Cybertruck and cash out with 30 grand. I mean, you can have a Cybertruck. We could all have Cybertrucks. Isn't that what we want? Coffee and Cybertrucks. Let's get back to the content.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.